Greg Van Alst making moves early.
Oh, trouble already.
And we've got Tony Breidinger around the 25, and they're wrecking all over the place. Caution is out.
Well. Yeah, SVG is in that as well.
Shane Van Gisbergen had to run this race to be able to race in the Xfinity race, so this will be interesting to see what the officials say.
I think Tanner Gray and the Gibbs number 18 was also in that.
Jeff Schofield in the 07 we see there.
Big damage to Amber Balkan.
Amber Balkan full time.
I think that's Ed Pompa in the number 10 car for Andy Hillenberg. That's the 25 of Tony right in the middle. Let's see if she gets squeezed.
So I think the 02 got a push there and wiggled down the racetrack, and then they just kind of squeezed and touched on corner entry to 1. Just really tough part of the corner. The car is really light, and obviously a small push when you're racing that close, only a few inches door to door, generates some contact.
Yeah, and the majority of these cars that involve nothing they could do. There, Tony gets into the 97 of Jason Kitzmiller.
And everybody else is just checking up, trying to miss it. I mean, half
doing their best to try to miss it.
See the 28 on the right side of your screen spinning around. That's Shane Van Gisbergen.
Here's a Sioux Chief on board for Tony Breidinger.
Yeah, so when that push got delivered to the 55, I mean, Tony, you can see by the lines on the racetrack, she was holding her car dead straight. Just got a push. That 02 car came down the racetrack and shoved her into the inside lane, and then everyone else is involved. And it was really cool reading some of Marco's interviews about why he wants to be in this series. He's raced on some of the biggest stage. Ooh, big accident with one of our already damaged cars.
Yeah, Mandy Chick. She had a top 5 finish here last year. Was involved in an accident. More than likely, probably a tire rub from some damage from that earlier wreck. Tough break for Mandy, though.
Yeah, I think similar to what you said, Phil. Probably had a tire go down, and
saw all the debris on the racetrack, probably from where that tire went down.
Crush panel, the whole rear fender is gone on that car.
Caution comes out. This is the scheduled caution, and we have cars all the way around as the caution came out. That's Willie Mullins, the pole sitter, going around.
Dale Quarterly, the 4, Leland Honeyman in the 02.
Got a couple others back there involved. Somebody stopped on the track. Can't really see the number there.
That's the 13 car right there. That's
Armani Williams.
Armani was involved in that first incident, but recovered.
And Marco Andretti got caught up in that.
We've got Marco Andretti already spun all the way at the top of the field. Comes down in Dale Quarterly, and other cars just dodging the miss and locking down brakes. I wonder what further back, probably exited turn 2, how Marco got turned sideways.
Doesn't look like Leland Honeyman had much damage. You see that's Patrick Emmerling, the blue and white car behind Marco. This is about the time the caution is going to come out. I'm not sure it's out yet.
Yep, you saw it on the
so
wall right there.
The caution is out, but I'm not sure anyone had backed off yet.
They looked really stacked up in that outside lane. I don't know if the couple of leaders were backing up, but Marco was really tucked up. I believe that was the 55 at Gus Dean. I think he was trying to stay off of him, and whether if that's due to the fact that Marco doesn't really have a rear bumper anymore, is that what makes that push go so bad, or is it just that big of a run? Kind of hard to tell from the front-facing angle, but either way, hooked Marco in front of the field. We've got 2 really fast cars.
And around goes the 99. That's Michael Maples.
The wall. Oh gosh!
And another huge hit, and they hit again.
And there's Shane.
Mentioned Scott Melton.
Is that Big Willie? That was Big Willie that hit Scott Melton.
Willie Mullins right there in the 3. He was the pole sitter.
Looked like he hit him really hard, and then it looked like it hung the throttle wide open almost, and
gets pretty wide coming off the corner and just loses it.
Just got loose.
He's got something sparking back there. I think he had some sort of an issue where he lost the back of the car, because he was kind of tracking up the racetrack all the way on the exit of the corner by himself, and then obviously collects kind of a bystander there in the 69 car, and Willie Mullins hits a ton in the back of that car.
And it's hard to see it from this angle, but there was a lot more smoke than it looked like, probably from the angle that we were looking at it. So Willie was probably in that smoke.
So violent, you see that impact. And Jake Finch, boy, working 60 laps led so far tonight. So impressive for this young man. We've got a car on fire. There it is, Marco Andretti. He's had that damage, had a couple issues earlier, and the caution is out for the 8th time with about 3.5 laps to go in this race.
That's just from damage from before. Started smoking on corner entry there, turn 1, right front tire flat into the wall, probably cuts an oil line or something, caused that fire.
He was running up in the top 10. When we talked before about him running just outside the top 10, it was not out of the question. But
depending on which lane gets the bigger push.
Oh, no. Jake Finch goes around and dominated this race, wrecking all over the place at the front of the field. That will end this race. Andres Perez, huge hit on top of another car. Gus Dean in the 55 will unofficially be the winner of this race. Let's see what happened here on the final lap.
Just a lot of pushes, and there was a lot of momentum coming back to that 3rd row, and that outside lane started it, and yeah, just a lot of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, I think Andy J was in the back of Jake, and I think Andy J had Lewis in the back of him as well, and they all just
it was almost simultaneous. The inside and the outside got to the 2nd row at the same time and just kind of fishtailed each other into both lanes.
Watch Perez in that 2 car up against the outside wall.
He's actually climbing over another car here. And he like stays mounted on top of the 73
Andy
car.
J's car.
Is that Armani Williams?
It is. It is.
The 13. What an impact for Jake Finch. Led 66 laps tonight, only to go straight into the wall on the final lap. Here's another look.
Yeah, Jake's just going down the straightaway, and they start pushing and shoving there, and
should be good onboard view here from Perez coming up, as he's obviously the car that's.
He's on top of Andy Jankowiak's car.
Could be a wild ride. So he's getting the side draft, thinks he has a chance to win this race, and then lots of pushing and shoving. 20 gets turned into the fence, and then 2 car goes for a ride.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing pictures. Well, driving for Venturini's.
Gio Ruggiero is
trouble already.
Trouble on the track. 2 cars involved. It looks like the 77.
See top right of your screen.
A lot of tire smoke getting in. It happened very early in the corner, Phil.
It really did. You saw the 05 with a lot of smoke. Maybe put something down on the race. There's a car trying to go under the 05.
See him on the brakes.
Yeah. That's the 19 of Eric Johnson Jr. I don't think Jake's going to come along there.
Have anywhere to go here.
There's absolutely nowhere to go.
In that corner, you're already max brake getting in.
Yeah,
so
you're as hard as you can. You're in there as hard as you can go.
Right.
You can't go any farther.
Can't slow down anymore.
Of your screen, as we see
Amber
Balkin getting into the wall. There. Chris Wright, that's her teammate, the 15 right in front of her. He got sideways up off the corner. And there's Tim or Rita over in turn 2 against the outside wall.
No light hit. Finish on Amber Balkin with a big hit. Had others involved as well.
Christian Rose.
Christian Rose.
Significant
hard into
contact.
the wall. There was a fire. You could see the back of his race car. He was on fire right in front of our booth. And they had just given the black flag to our leader, who hadn't yet served that penalty.
It's a huge break for the 20 car, but obviously, hard hit.
Front tire issue for the 32, and then Amber comes off the corner and just avoids Christian Rose, but unfortunately the self-cleaning Banks is going to put her right into the inside safer barrier.
And this racetrack is pretty tough on right front tires. We talk about the loading and the banking and what that feels like for the driver. That right front tire takes the brunt force of that. You see that massive fire under there as well.
That was a massive hit for Christian Rose. There it is.
See Tony in the red car. Chris trying to make the move to the outside. Had his nose up alongside of Tony, not very far, but
yeah, that's a tough spot. With that corner exit, she was behind a lap car, so she's going to be losing momentum. Whereas Chris was getting momentum off the top, and sometimes that's a difficult spot for the spotters. So I don't know what you do differently in position with the drivers, right? You're Chris. You're trying to get the spot. You've been working hard for the last few laps, but I feel like if you're Tony, you don't really expect that car to be there. So I think a lot of it kind of comes down to what information you're getting from the roof. But really unfortunate for Tony. She was having a super solid.
Over, looks like me. Oh, trouble.
Oh, caution.
Oh.
The 06 goes around. That's Con Nicolopoulos. Ooh, big damage right there. Is that the 11?
I think it's the 31 of Mitch Gibson.
See crew chief on that 82 up there. Not happy with that caution.
That is the 31 of Mitch Gibson.
Ending his night prematurely. Here's what happened.
Yeah, our third place car, Gio Ruggiero, just drove by me. He was up a little bit high on the racetrack, maybe a little bit higher than anybody he had gone before, and he just lost control, made some slight contact with the safety barrier. There's Gio going by, and you see him up in the third lane. We haven't seen many cars do that at all, but he has pulled that car behind him.
Just doing everything he can to keep his car off. Trouble! Van Olst, Amber Balkan, and Marco Andretti in a crash in turn 4.
That's second and third, and points involved in this accident with Van Olst and Amber Balkan.
And the front end of Greg Van Olst's car, as well as the whole left side, is badly damaged. And for Amber Balkan, who just came back from that hard crash at Dover a handful of races ago, is really looking forward to her opportunity to get back on track here at Iowa after being able to continue to work her way through the rounds at Kansas and Charlotte. And we are only 25 laps into this race, and I'm afraid the damage to both of those cars could in fact be terminal.
Watch him 3 wide getting down in the corner. Van Olst is on the bottom. Looks like he gets a little bit of a bump possibly from Amber and carries both of them into the outside wall, as well as the 17 of Marco Andretti.
That was the battle for 11th, 12th, 13th place, respectively, with more cars in the mix. Christian Rose, that may be a Reese's Sweet Move of the Race nominee right there. He just barely got by on the top side.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. Mason Mitchell as well, up out of the groove.
How about this ride with that of Mason Mitchell, his return to ARCA competition. Look out.
Well, he saw that he needed to give Amber some room, and he did, moved way up out of the groove. There's D.L. Wilson, the 39 as well. You could hear that car.
Hard crash for Chris Wright in the 15, and piling in also is the number 93 of Cody Dennison in his first start for this race team in 2024. And both cars are badly damaged in 1 and 2. Let's try to take a look at what happened. Right side of your picture.
Right over there, that's where they are. Looked like maybe Chris was trying to get under the 93 of Dennison to put him another lap down. And they both make hard contact with the safer barrier.
Really hard shot for both cars. You see the red flag is out to try to clean up the circumstances that remain for the track crew here in turns 1 and 2, with Dennison walking back to the...
2 guys going for 3 in a row. I know that it's not the last 3, but Connor Zilic, he said, I'm on that 3 in a row too.
Back on Monopoly in the 85. This is a brand new team out of Florida. Their debut. She was doing a solid job running up around the 20th spot, but a lot of damage. You see the right rear tire leaned in, a lot of damage to the front of that car as well.
LeVar Scott started on the front row, led the first 44. Zilic took over, led 63, leading at the halfway point. So Zilic has led the last 20 as we're under caution.
Got loose, maybe a little overcorrection there on exit. Right here you see it just step out, wheels turn to the right, and it hooks. Yeah. Bad feeling there.
Yeah, what an amazing job. It looked like Jackson McLaren to avoid her.
It's Perez.
Right behind. Big moment.
How about that miss right there by McLaren? Tough break, pretty significant contact.
Teammates again for third. Perez inside of Scott. And trouble once more. And that's Breidinger. Caution number 5.
Steen trying to make his way around Corey Day. Oh, Amber Balkin into the inside wall.
The 22 of Amber Balkin.
She's on the inside of Greg Van Alst. They made a little bit of contact coming off the corner. Her in the blue 35 of Greg Van Alst. And that just turned her sideways and she went straight into the inside. Ooh, caution on the racetrack. Greg Van Alst. Oh, 3 cars involved at least.
And Finch into the 10 of Ed Pampa. Wow. So the 10, the 20, and the 99 of Michael Maples.
Significant contact with Jake Finch in the 20 car. This racetrack is banked so much. When you enter the corner, you really can't see around the corner. You look out the top left portion of your windshield, and because it almost looks like you're going uphill, it's really hard to see. And I'm sure that was a situation for Jake Finch.
Here's the aftermath of what happened.
Something happened at the 03 of Alex Club. You see Greg Van Alst. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Jake there, whether possibly the spotter didn't see it, because you see the 6 locked the brakes up to get stopped. The 28 makes it through. The 2, actually the 2 runs in to Corey Day a little bit, and then Jake comes in there and makes some pretty hard contact. Now he just about.
Oh, the Day gets spun. Day spins around, and the 25 as well crashes into the 28.
Maybe Corey came up the racetrack a little bit. It didn't really look like LeVar turned left and hooked Corey. But such a critical part of the racetrack right there, and such a critical part of the race. You see, this made a little bit of contact. LeVar was able to continue. Man, hard contact.
28 definitely came up the track.
So he's running an old. Oh, Gustine with some issues. I think maybe have a tire going down. Lost that spot. I think the right front may be down on that 55 car. Christian Rose was able to get by.
Gustine off the pace and now into the wall. With 50 laps to go. Going back to the contact a few laps ago. The battle between the 55 and the 6. And now he's going to have to come down pit road. Might have to do a restart. The 6 is sideways.
Look at the damage on this.
55.
Wow, look at the damage on Isabella's car.
The hood is mangled on that Mobil 1 car of Isabella Robusto.
It might be okay. You see, they take the air in at the bottom part of that grill. They might be able to push that down. Obviously, they're going to have 5 minutes to work on that car, so she may be okay. She lost a spot, obviously, to Chris Wright. But they just got, I think it looked like LeVar Scott maybe got into that lap car, and that seized him up, and Isabella was right there with no.
And a caution.
Oh, our leader.
Sawalich gets turned around and damage to the left side of our leader, the 18 car of William Sawalich.
The 99 of Maples involved. You see the damage to that left rear quarter panel of the 18 car. Wow, what a turn of events here, Brent.
Well, that could change everything.
I don't see a lot of damage other than that left rear quarter panel. I know Matt Ross and his guys can pull that out. It's not over for the 18. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened. You see the 99 of Maples on the inside, and then I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Why the 99 of Michael Maples just drove into the 18.
Scott trying to hang with it on the outside off turn 4. Got a car hard on the wall behind him. That's Christian Rose who pounds the fence. But as they come to the line, checkered flag for William Sawalich here on the short run to fix their cars.
And remember, lower air pressures for these drivers. Ooh, problem. Dawson Sutton in the 71 into the inside wall. He's making his ARCA Series debut. Had a good qualifying effort. Qualified in the 7th spot. He was running in the 7th spot, but look at all the damage to that right front. Trevor, that's going to be terminal. Already sideways when he came off of the corner. Let's see if we can see what Logan Mizuraka saw. See him already into the inside wall.
See him get loose up the racetrack.
Just running by himself, Trevor, and just got a little bit loose. Again, low air pressures, and we've had Truck Series practice and qualifying since these guys.
Now for the 4th time, then 9. Wow, big hit for Logan Mizuraka.
Yeah, and the looks of that tell me there's somebody else with some damage too that's come through and hit the rear.
Oh no! Look at
trouble, big trouble for Connor Zilic. All he had to do was finish 12th.
Wow.
Or worse to win that championship tonight, guys.
What a heartbreak.
We're hearing the 9 had already spun, and Connor came along and could not avoid her. I'm sure we'll get a look, certainly from the onboard at least, on what happened here, but.
98 spin. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
9.
Racing with Amber Balkan once again on the inside. Makes contact. Gets into the outside wall. And here, the big hit comes right there.
That's Connor Zilic. Let's go on board with Connor.
I mentioned how quick things happen here. You see rolling down the banking and just nowhere to go.
And he's already in the corner as hard as he's going to get. So you can't just stop on a dime, or you can't turn the car any farther left than you already.
Caution is out for the 6th time. The 99 of Michael Maples into the outside wall.
Big hit there. Right rear down, left front damage.
Driving for Fast Track Racing, he was 21st at the time of the incident.
There's part of his nose piece and the fender.
Well, you want action, you get it here. Great racing side by side and a lot of cautions. We had 10 cautions last year. Right now we're already at 5. We're not even at halfway.
He's by himself. Looked like maybe just bounced off the apron or something.
That was such a violent spin. I wonder if the left rear didn't go down. Like that last restart might regain the lead, and another caution's out.
10th caution, Greg Van Alst around damage.
Well, and we talked earlier, Jamie, how hard it is to get in rhythm at Bristol, and all these cautions just make it more and more difficult to do anything as a driver, to figure out your race car.
Going to get a little help here, possibly. It is from Christian Rose in that 32. I don't think intentional, but nonetheless, there was a little bit of contact there.
Another look at it here.
Again, the straightaways banked here on both sides, and normally you spin like that, and you're going to make contact with the inside wall, as we see Greg getting out of the car. Good to see
We've
that.
had plenty of practices. We have tied our Bristol race record for cautions with 10 so far tonight, and we've got 54 laps to go.
Great.
And they're wrecking again. Chris Wright around. See, I spoke too soon. We have now broken the record, Trevor.
I was just about to say, you have to treat every restart like it could be the last one. Clearly, this one wasn't, as probably the next one won't be. But, you have to treat them all like that and be on your game for all these. And that's the fatigue that sets in and what's so important for Williams Wallace and for Landon Lewis.
See the 15, that's Chris Wright. He's on the inside of the 20. Just got a little bit of nudge from Lawless, Allen from behind. Then someone's going to come along. It looks like Tony Branger, and took the nose off that car. This is Corey Day. We're going to ride along with him. He's behind this. You see, does a nice job.
Christian is out once again for the 12th time.
Copy and paste again for that restart.
And Christian Rose goes around. Talked about the 3 kids from the Children's Hospital. Painted that beautiful paint scheme. Put their touches on it. There is the banking right there.
Corey did absolutely nothing wrong there. No doubt that Christian Rose thought he was clear.
In the background behind that, you see Chris Wright with a damaged car almost crashed as well.
Connor Zilic came in with a 60-point advantage.
Just like that.
Wow, just in front of the field, the 95 hard into the wall. Andrew Patterson.
That's why I didn't say he was on his way to victory. I didn't want to jinx it.
Oh,
that was close.
Good thing you didn't.
Yeah.
Right now, shown in the 4th spot.
Isabella is into the wall.
Caution is out. Our pole sitter, big trouble early on.
She got a little bit loose down in 3 and 4, was losing some positions. Looked like she tried to move back in line and squeeze somebody as she was getting it down in turn number 1. Drivers will lose in traffic if you catch them.
Trouble for Andres Perez in the wall. You had mentioned he may have been damaged from earlier on. It was falling back, went a lap down. He was 8th at the point. Oh, he's got damage both sides of this car.
Yeah, you see the damage on the left front. That's from the contact with Isabella on the second lap of the race. Looked like maybe he cut down a right front tire, and that cost him to get in the wall. We talk about his consistency. Only 2 times this year has he been out of the top 10. Let's ride along, Jamie, and see what if we can figure out what happens here. There we go. Obvious the right front tire goes down. Straightaway.
Tanner Gray hanging on. I don't see the smoke any longer. 3 wide behind him. Corey Day into Andy Jankowiak. They're rubbing. We stay green. Tanner Gray continues to lead at the time of this.
Yeah, Tony, riding with the 25, just got by Amber. You see Christian Rose trying to move to the inside. Looked like he ran his left side tires across the apron, and that shot his car up into Amber's, and then he couldn't get away from her. But this is not the first time that these 2 drivers have been in our screen.
Oh, and around goes Amber. Balkin, the 20, Gio Ruggiero, that is a teammate. Brad Smith comes to a halt. Oh, and Tony Breidinger just taps. One thing after another right there. Gio a little frustrated with Amber Balkin holding him up. Spins her, and now we've got 3 cars stalled on the track. See Amber in the 22, Gio Ruggiero in the 20, our teammate right there going around the lap car. Gets me a little impatient, like you said, Phil, and around goes Amber. Brad Smith tries to avoid her sideways, and Amber, or Tony Breidinger, just taps Brad Smith.
Yeah, Brad Smith was running side by side with a lap car and didn't feel like he had enough room, so he locked the brakes up. There's another view of it. Watch, Brad's going to come along side by side with somebody, locks the brakes up, slides, just barely touches her, and Tony barely touches Brad Smith. But there's where Gio gets in the back of Amber, and she was just not able to save it. Again, lap traffic here at Toledo is a way of life. I mean, these fast cars are so much faster than some of the back markers that you're going to be in traffic.
Up in the air. Andres wants to go out a champion, but he wants to say he wins, and he goes around. Caution is out.
And we have a new leader, Gio Ruggiero. I think Sawalich was, again, he might have slipped in the speedy dry, but he moved up the racetrack, made contact with the Ruggiero. That opened up the bottom. And a tough break.
And the foam barriers all over the place as Amber Balkin has gotten into them from 11th. So we're going to bring the red flag back out. This is going to be a lengthy cleanup.
There she is. There you see the styrofoam right at the beginning of the billboards. There is where she made contact. Look right before as the billboards start. There she went right behind that white van. Meanwhile, Andres Perez was spinning there. Here's that restart we were talking about being so important. Watch the 18 move up the racetrack a little bit. He leaves that bottom open, and Perez takes advantage of it. And here they go down the back straightaway, 3 wide.
Look at LeVar Scott on the outside. This is where it goes wrong for Andres Perez. Washes up the track a little bit, goes around. There goes Gio Ruggiero to the lead for the first time today in the caution. Top 5 as you see the white flag in the air for William Sawalich. 18-year-old hails from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Looking at bringing it home once again at Toledo Speedway. 9th win of the year for William Sawalich in that 18 team.